Welcome back and Happy New Year from Welstopia. I am over here at Pharos and I have leveled the island. It is now just 1 meter above the shoreline and I've blasted away this hill and gained a large amount of resources, and I'm going to need a large amount of stone in order to do this project. So that particular item was needed in both clearing out the area and gathering resources. Now, I will most likely replace most of the sand and sandstone with stone in order to help with my foundation. And I'm going to be keeping this for identification purposes for a while until I have a very recognizable structure here. So what is the plan? Before we discuss what we're going to do with the build, I want to discuss what we're doing with the mouth of the harbor itself, because this is going to be our inlet where the ships are going to be passing through in order to head towards Pinesmith. And once you get through the inlet, you should be able to see in the distance the beacon for the lighthouse. And the beacon for the lighthouse then is going to tell them where to head in order to reach the harbor. You'll also note that we have these lights on the island across from there, and on that island there, and on the corner of this island. And the idea of these lights is to signal the ships as they're passing through where the land is at, so that they could miss them when they're going through it. So these are close lights in order to help to guide them through. Now, since the original Pharos lighthouse is not really a channel lighthouse, it probably didn't have anything like that, but I figure in our particular situation that would be most useful. I have lit this place up and set out the four corners and made sure that I have stone at all four corners, or on the foundation of all the points within it, because this is going to be a 30 by 30 area where we're going to be, and so I have 30 meters inclusive for all of these blocks. So therefore there will be 28 blocks between each of the corners. And this is the size of the lighthouse. Now, with the Pharos lighthouse, technically there was also a wall around it. And this wall, by my best estimates, was about 90 meters square. It's most likely unknown exactly what the size was, but that's my best estimate. And as you can see, there is definitely not room to have a 90-meter square wall all around here. Now, I suspect this wall was mainly installed to protect against the elements, because if you're going to have a lighthouse lasting for 1,000 years, it would probably need a little bit of help and protection from the elements. So that's my best guess on the matter, though it could have also been for defense against enemies or something like that. But I suspect it was mainly against the elements. So we are going to have to do without that little defense, though, because there's no room for a major wall all around. Now, I may extend the island and maybe give it a smaller circumference for the wall or something like that. That's a possibility. But I'm going to worry about the main lighthouse first, and then worry about any walls around it afterwards. Therefore, the next question is, how tall do I need to make this thing? The answer to that is very tall. And second of all, what materials do I need to use? Because it's obviously not going to be much good if I don't know what the materials are. And the third thing is, how high is the ramp going to go? The ramp, there was a ramp along the back of the Pharos Lighthouse, and the ramp was most likely there to help the animals hauling up wood to go to the top. So therefore, the ramp will start all around here, go up to here, enter into the back of the lighthouse a little bit up there. In fact, I might even consider what's below it to be foundation and then go up from there. So you have the ramp going up there, and there's also a ramp going up on the inside. And that way you could have animals hauling up wood all the way through there. Yeah, it's quite an unusual arrangement to have, is this interior building. It's probably one of the things that accounts for why it's 30 by 30 meters across, so that you could have a reasonable ramp that's going up inside of it. And that also may help to tell us answer some questions about, yeah, how high would this thing be and the like, because how high can you get and still be able to have all these ramps in operation? Now you may be wondering, how am I going to build the ramp? Well, yeah, the ramp is going to be steeper than you would have in reality. What I'm going to do is I am going to get some... let me bring out my chest here. And let's see, do I have any... let's try this box for the moment, because I know that we have in here a crafting table. And also, I'll get out my stone box, where I have all of the stone in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some of these things. And don't worry, if I've had this stuff available somewhere else, then I'll be able to quickly... Actually, I'll be needing it eventually, because this is going to be really huge. So let's say if I put this in here, and then put this on top, right, and then third one would be this down here, and then finally this on top. So you get the idea. So it's going to be a ramp like this: half step, full step, half step, full step, half step, full step. So it'll be a relatively gradual little ramp there. That's as gradual a ramp as you're going to get in Minecraft. Unfortunately, you really can't do it any more gradual than that. So I'm going to use that as my slope for it, lead up to there, and then have a ramp going all the way up to the top. This will be the end point of our ramp, the point where the ramp will go into it. Actually, of course, it'll be up above here, what it will do, and then the ramp will gradually go down to here. Most likely, the ramp will wind up crossing the water and going on to the mainland from there, which is a reasonable thing to do, because that's what's believed to have happened with the original lighthouse anyway, that it formed a little bit of a connector between the where the lighthouse was and to the city of Alexandria. So therefore, what I need to do now is to build this ramp and see how high that will go. Now, as for the height of the lighthouse itself, I will be building this up to a height of 112 meters. The estimates I usually see about the lighthouse are anywhere from 103 to 118. And 112 works well with my Minecraft dimensions that I'm using here. So I'm going to have 64 for a square section, which is going to be on the bottom, which is this 30 by 30 area. Then I'm going to have to somehow do an octagon for the next level after that. And then on top of that, there's going to be a circular area. So it's going to step down on each of those two areas. That's going to be the height of the whole thing. But it's going to take me a while before I get there, because first I'm going to have to do the ramp. And the question is what materials I should be using. Now, it looks like that the lighthouse itself has a foundation of stone, which, well, I guess use stone for that. And, all right, foundation of stone. And in addition to that, the real part of the lighthouse is going to be masonry, which I'm going to interpret to mean stone brick. So what do I use for the ramp? I think the most reasonable thing for me to use would be sandstone. I think that will make a reasonable ramp. It'll give some contrast to the lighthouse because with stone brick on top of stone, there isn't much variety in it as it is. So therefore, something to break it up a little bit I think will be there. Now I'm going to build the ramp going up to 20 blocks high, 20 meters high. And that will mean it will go in this direction 40 meters. Oh, let's see how far that goes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we do have the fact that this is going to be already at a little bit of a height, so it's probably not going to go as far because it probably won't go to 40 meters. It'll probably just get to around here and then come to a stop due to the way things are going. But that's what the plan is. I am going to build the ramp up to 40 meters high. And it's going to have some columns, so therefore it's not going to be just a straight block going across. It is going to have occasional columns in there as to break it up so it won't be too monotonous on the matter, or at least I hope it's not. There you have it, the end of the ramp. You see how tall that is? And that's just about a third of the way up the lower section of the lighthouse. And then there are 2 more sections about that. So I had to grant that the lower section of the lighthouse will take about half the lighthouse's height. But now I have to make a ramp all the way from there. And that goes down all the way in that direction. Oh, is this going to be fun. Now, to help with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be alternating in there. In other words, this is going to mostly be empty except near the top where, well, it won't be able to do a very good arch successfully in Minecraft, but you'll just have the ramp itself, and every other time will be the pillar. I think that might be a good number, or should it maybe go by, how about every 4th one? That'll save on resources a bit, and might be a little bit better. Now the question is, how about that? Actually, maybe that shouldn't be solid. Maybe I should just have the middle part empty and just have pillars along the side. Let me think on that. And this is what I chose in the end. We have a little bit of an arch that's below there. I have it 3 spaces between each of the pillars and a little bit of an arch here in order to act as support. On the sides, we do have a raised section so that when the carts are moving up and down the ramp, they don't have much of a chance of falling out over the side because without the sidelines, let's face it, it could be a little bit dangerous going up the ramp on there, especially if your horses get skittish. And now I just have to take this down slowly and go down and down and down all the way across to the other side. And that is going to take some time, obviously too much to finish off in today's episode. So with that in mind, I'll start on a little bit of the foundation and get that moving. And the idea there is that we are just going to connect these points here so that we go all the way around, probably without the diorite being here. There we go. Put this here, and probably a little... here we go. And a little torch to signal that's the end. Alright. And of course, we're going to have a couple other torches around here all over the place because I am trying to keep mobs from spawning all around here, because when I'm down on my bed down there, I've had mobs spawn right smack down in this area, since it's far enough away for that to happen. Maybe I should move the bed to a more central location. That may help. Alright, there we go. And we will have another one here. Good. And I figure I'm going to do foundation up about maybe 3 or 4 meters, and then we'll start with the masonry, which will act as the actual lighthouse structure. And here we go. Here we go, and finally this. Now, one of the things I want to do then is, I was wondering about what to do for the area around here. Right now, I do have it a stone all around there. For some reason, I think a huge wide area of stone around there would be fitting, but now I think about it, that might not be the best idea. Because we do want it to look nice. And if we're going to do that, I would say that surrounding the lighthouse. Now, I would want this right here to be stone, simply because we want to make the lighthouse look like it's going to be structurally sound. And if we have dirt below there, you know, it wouldn't be best. And we'll probably have stone for a bit going on this way to help to support the ramp. But for the area out here, it's probably best to revert this to grass, so that this could be a nice area where, you know, you could walk around and stuff like that. Probably some grass here, maybe a walkway in order to encourage people to walk on the walkways. But I would say grass surrounding it might make the whole thing, because right now I think we're building stone brick on top of stone as it is already. So I think we'd want to try to make other parts of it as attractive as possible. So there you go. We have the foundation, which we could finish between episodes, and we have this, which is gonna take quite a little bit of time in doing. And that's one of the reasons why I've got the ladder here, so I could gradually do it as I collect all the sand and sandstone I need in order to do that massive project. And while this is a massive project, it's going to be nothing compared to the lighthouse itself. This is just the beginning. And I'll see you next time, where we'll continue this in Piney Plays Minecraft Welstopia.